Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Okay, I think we're live. Hey, I just wanted to come on for a while and let you know about my book that I wanted to talk about today. And my name is Brenda Gatliff, and I have written a book. It's called Wait, the Reality Is That We Are Never Alone. And this is actually my third book, so I'm really excited to be able to share these with you. And this one especially because it's just a lot of stories and a lot of experiences I've had. Um, Honestly, just trying to share some stories and let you know what I've been through, different things, and just that there's hope and we're never alone. So, I've been blessed with a wonderful family, a lot of good friends, and I'm so thankful for that. And like I've said before, it seems like sometimes even with family and friends, you can still feel like you're alone or dealing with a problem or a situation. And so, what I've learned over these years is that we're just really never alone. So, what I wanted to talk about today was something that happened about a year and a half ago, I guess, maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I did have COVID, and I honestly I didn't even think it was that bad. I thought I just had the flu. I didn't even realize it was COVID until I took a test, and um, I was so sick that I actually couldn't even walk. I mean, I could walk to in my room, but I couldn't go to the kitchen or the living room, anything. So my son and daughter called an ambulance, and I went on to the hospital, and it was quite an experience. It was a really life-changing experience, I guess. A lot of people I know have gone through this experience with COVID, and I know there's different degrees of sickness, but I did end up staying 15 days in the hospital, and they said that I had COVID pneumonia, acute respiratory failure with hypoxia, and I was on some pretty heavy duty um, oxygen, and it was really, really just a real thick oxygen with a lot of, it was really wet, and so it was really hard to handle. And then they had a huge machine in my room, which was like a big, loud machine that drew all the particles out of the air and clarified the air and everything. And but it was extremely loud. So between the coughing and the not being able to breathe and the heavy duty oxygen, it was really difficult. And at that time, of course, I couldn't have any visitors, anything like that. I did keep in touch with my daughter and my son. And my daughter, bless her heart, she was just so helpful because she would uh, talk with the nurses on file, and nurses at the hospital, and then she would report back to, like all on Facebook and stuff, a lot of friends and family, and kind of pass on how I was doing and everything. So she was a big, big help, and that's even after I went home, and uh let's see here, I've got Chad Warren, hi, from Mexico. Hi, Chad. He said good afternoon. Good afternoon, glad you tuned in, thank you. And so yeah, my son was real helpful. He came over every day after work when I got home, and helped, made sure I had some dinner and did the dishes, took the trash out, got the mail, everything like that. So I had a lot of help from my children, but it was hard to go through be in the hospital for 15 days, and Lorenzo, hi, Lorenzo Thomas. I hope you're well. I really am. I'm doing well, and I hope you are too. Hope you're having a great day. Peggy, hi Peggy. She says, hello, Brenda. Hello, hi Peggy. Hope you're having a great day too. And Bob, hi Bob. And I just wanted to, oh, Timothy Moffat, hi Timothy. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. Yes, I hope you're having a great day. So I did stay in the hospital for 15 days, and they just could not get my oxygen level at a good. It was really. Um, I just needed a lot of oxygen, and they tried different things to help, and it seemed like every time they decided, hey, we're going to put you on a breathing machine, breathing, like a, not really life support, but sort of like that, and move you to the ICU, um, something would happen, and lo and behold, it was be like, okay, it came up a little bit, so you're doing better, so we're not going to do that. So it was pretty serious, and they just could not. It ended up being 15 days, but they just could not get it under control, and um, they decided to try this new treatment. I mean, I had steroids and I had antibiotics and I had all kinds of stuff, but also they had come up with a new treatment for COVID. So I tried to do that, and it was like several days, and you received an injection. And I don't know if it was that new treatment or if it was the steroids, but I had some really weird things that happened. And when I talked to the nurses, they said that wasn't uncommon. That sometimes that does affect people. And oops, I just missed Pauline. Hi, Pauline. She says COVID was quite brutal. Lost an uncle. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I lost an aunt and some friends too. Yeah, COVID was, and Timothy, COVID was a nightmare. Until now, I still can't climb up a flight of stairs without being out of breath. You know what? I feel you. I really do, because sometimes, honestly, just walking to the mailbox and back, my heart rate will go up, and I have a hard time breathing, short of breath. So yeah, it's definitely. They said it scarred my lungs, and it's getting better, but it's still there. So, and Janet, hi Janet. Um, Being in isolation was so terrible. Felt so alone most times. Luckily, the nurses were quite friendly and sympathetic. Oh, you're so right, Janet. I don't know what I'd done without those nurses and the doctors. They were so kind, and they worked so hard. They were always attentive and just helped me so much. and at St. Francis Hospital here in Indianapolis, I'm telling you what, they were just amazing. But it was hard to be away from your family for 15 days and not have any visitors or anything like that. That was really hard. But um, this new treatment that they tried, it kind of it took a long time for my oxygen level to get back to where it was supposed to be. And one morning I woke up. Well, actually, I was asleep one morning and I heard talking, and I thought, well, what in the world is that? I could hear a conversation, and there wasn't anybody in my room except me. And so I kind of woke up and still heard the conversation and looked over to the side of my bed on the little rail. And there were two little lungs um, sitting on the rail. And I know you think I'm crazy. And I don't know I really don't know what it was, if it was me and the COVID or if it was the treatment. I don't know. But anyway, these two little cartoon lungs were sitting on the rail, just having a conversation. And they kept saying, "Wake up, talk to us, wake up, talk to us." And I said, "Well, who are you?" And they said, "Well, we're your two little lungs. You have three lungs. You have two little lungs and one big lung." And I'm thinking, gee, I always thought we had two lungs. But anyway, they just talked and talked, and we had the best conversation, and we talked about everything, all the problems in the world, everything that was going on. And finally I thought, I really need to get some rest here. So I said, well, I'm going to go to sleep now. So I flipped over to the other side of the room and the other rail. And right when I fell asleep, boom, here comes this big giant lung. And this big giant lung is sitting on this bed rail. And I said, well, what and who are you? And this big lung says, well, I'm your big lung, and I've come to talk to you. And I said, okay. So we had a long conversation. And, after I finally went to sleep and then woke up and the nurse came in, I thought, did that really just happen, or it wasn't a dream, because I was awake, but I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. And I asked the nurse, I said, and I told her about the episode with the two little lungs and the one big lung, and she just laughed and she said, you're not the first one that's had that happen. We've had other people who have seen things and heard things. And I'm like, whew, okay, I guess it's not just me. So the other thing is, my daughter had put on Facebook, and requested for positive thoughts and prayers. And I knew there were a lot of people praying for me. And, during this time, this 15 days that I was in the hospital, there were like 7 people that had passed away in 7 days. And so, I'm really lucky to be here. Honestly, I'm thankful to be here. It just wasn't my time. And Bob Montgomery, hi, Bob. Maybe they were manifestations. I had an ex-neighbor who swore she spoke to her breath to her breath during isolation. Well, you know what? They could have been. They honestly could have been. I have never had an experience like that in my life, before or after. So I think you could be right, Bob. Never thought of that. So anyway, yeah, they had lost like 7 people, and so it was a really scary time. A lot of people, that's a short period of time to lose that many people. And so I know I had a lot of people praying for me, a lot of positive thoughts. Got a lot of cards in the hospital, from family and friends, and I'm so thankful. Thanks, you guys. And you know, there were several mornings where I would wake up. You didn't really sleep well, because of course they woke you up every time you turn around, and would, you know, they would, is that my cousin Trina? Hi, Trina. I spent 11 days in the hospital with pneumonia and COVID. Oh my gosh. I think I do remember that. Yeah. That's nothing to play with. I tell you, I hope you're better now. I mean, my recovery has been a long, slow recovery, but hey, I'm here, and I'm doing things. So yeah. Hey, Trina. Anyway, so it was really comforting, because there were a lot of mornings when I would wake up, I'd be asleep and I'd wake up, and I thought, what is that? It was like the most, I don't know, the most calming, peaceful. I love you too, Trina, very much. You're a doll. It was the most peaceful thing. I would wake up in the morning and I could feel this peace and comfort and just this calm that would just relax me. And, I really firmly believe that was from all the prayers. I think the prayers are what, my dad used to say, if prayer is like when you pray and ask God for something, if it's kind of like somebody knocking on a door. So if one person knocks on the door, um, if somebody comes to your house and knocks on the door and they might knock, you might hear them. Depends on where you're at in the house, depends on how loud it is. But if you've got 50 people really pounding on that door, you're going to hear it. So the more prayers that people send up, I really believe God hears them and answers them. And I realize that we all have a time, and evidently it wasn't my time, thank goodness. But he just has something else for me to do. But honestly, it was just a nice, peaceful feeling to I could feel the prayers. I don't know how to explain it. I could just feel the comfort, and that helped me heal. But one day, it was just I just couldn't take it anymore. It was the noise of the big, loud machine that was clarifying the air and getting all that stuff out of the and just between the loud machine and this oxygen was just so wet, and I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't really I wasn't allowed out of bed, and I couldn't walk anyway. And one morning when all this was happening, and I was just at my wit's end, I mean, I just didn't know what else to do, because I thought I can't go on like this. I just can't. And all of a sudden, and this wasn't a reaction to the medication or anything. This was God coming through, speaking directly to me. Timothy, hi Timothy. My grandma told me once that prayers feel like an invisible blanket. Oh, when there's enough of them. You know what? That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like just a big old somebody just covers you up with this comfort, this comforting. Prayers work. I mean, I've seen them work so many times in my life, and um, honestly, they really do. They really do work. So I like that. I like that. It does feel like a blanket of comfort. And all of a sudden, there's Judith. Hi, Judith. Hello, Brenda. Day 10, and I'm ready to hear your story. It's been a great festival. This festival of storytellers has been awesome. And thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. And, I've got a lot of stories. So yeah, I love sharing my stories. Things happen for a reason. So anyway, I was just at my wit's end. I didn't know what else to do, and I was just so down. And all of a sudden, right where the wall, the top of the ceiling and the wall at the top of the room in the hospital room, right where it comes together across the room, it began to come apart. It slowly came apart, and there was a huge gap that was in between the ceiling and the top of the room, the top of the wall. Um, Janet, hi Janet. We're lucky to have you here with us, Brenda. Oh, thank you for tuning in, and it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure to be here and to help if I can, for sure. Thanks. So I'm wide awake, you know, so wasn't asleep, anything like that. And all of a sudden this wall just comes apart at the top of the ceiling. And this beautiful, bright light just shines through. I couldn't even keep my eyes open hardly. I was this just beautiful, wonderful light just came through. And I thought, well, and right before the light came through, I said, Lord, I was just praying and I said, Lord, I just can't do this anymore. Please either take me or save me, because I don't know what else to do, you know. And then this light just comes through the ceiling and the wall. It was just amazing. And it was just something I've never seen before. I've seen a lot of things, and had a lot of experiences, but I've never seen the white light. And that's about as far as I got to go with it, because I don't think it was my time. And after I saw the light and everything around it, and just beaming, then it kind of closed back up again. And slowly every day I got a little better, and I got to where I could, I mean, I'd have to walk with the oxygen, with me and everything. And slowly got better, slowly did better. So, but this is probably oh my goodness, the scariest thing I think I've had a lot of, I always say, I've had a lot of close calls, and over my life because I'm pretty old. But this one was, I thought I was gone and I was okay with it. You know what I mean? I was ready to go. I've had a wonderful life. I've had a lot of experiences, had a lot of, I know this isn't it. I know that heaven is real and I know that God is real. And I was ready. I was ready. But evidently God wasn't done with me yet, so I have more things to do. Well, since then, 2 years ago, I've been able to write 3 books at this age, which is just amazing. I never thought I always wanted to, but I never thought I'd be able to do this. But I have so many short stories to share, but like I say, I thought this is about, this is about the closest I'm coming to death. But then I got to thinking last night and I thought, you know what? I have honestly been almost run over on a motorcycle on the interstate with 2 semis. I'm going down the interstate in the fast lane. We're trying to pass a semi, and all of a sudden my motorcycle just pops and it just slowly slows down. And there was a semi behind me and one beside of me. And to this day, I have no clue how I got way over into the emergency lane, but I did. So I thought I was a goner that day for sure, which would have been all right because I was having a good time that day. And also on the motorcycle, we were going on a trip one time, and we turned. The leader, which was my husband, turned really quick, and it was raining. It had been raining, and it was raining, and right from the turn there was railroad tracks, and so the railroad tracks were wooden, and they were slick. And when I went over them, the front of the bike went down, the rear of the bike went up, and then it went sideways, and my head was about 2 inches from the ground. And I too thought then, that's it. This is how the old girl goes. So pretty sure this was what was going to happen. But nope, somehow I felt like something picked the bike up, got it back on the road, and I was good to go. So that was a close call. Hi, Mark Castro. I had COVID before, and I felt like I am a criminal. Oh, because they had me isolated from almost everybody. Oh, you know what? I feel you. I really do, because that's what it felt like. Because there were, when people came in, they had to put all the layers of clothing and mask and everything on, even the people, the nurses and the doctors and stuff. So yeah, I felt like one too. I get you. I really do. Bob says, I sometimes feel like I'm ready to go through the light. Aw, but that's only my daydreams. You are very inspiring. Oh, thank you, Bob Montgomery. Thank you. That's so sweet of you to say. And honestly, if I can inspire anybody, I would love to. That's what, if I can help anybody, that's what we're here for, is to help each other out. So, um, but yeah, like I say, sometimes you just know you're like, okay, I'm ready. But God's not always done with us, so he might have a thing or two left for us to do, or to help someone, or be there. You just never know. So, but I get you. So, but yeah, so I've had a lot of close calls. Um, I've had like 2 almost fatal car accidents where one was almost a head on, and somehow I got above the car that I was passing and lived, and nobody wrecked, nothing happened. Another time I was spun around. Another time my daughter and I ended up upside down on the ice was slick, and they hadn't really salted that area of the road, so our car actually went off the road. Luckily, it missed a fence and a telephone pole, but we did end up upside down. So, that was, and came out of that without a scratch. So God's always looking out for me. Trying to think what. Oh, and so I've had a lot of close calls, and a lot of times when I thought, well, this is it. This is how the girl goes. Um, Not to mention, I was almost charged by a buffalo in South Dakota, but that's another long story. And then we went on a plane trip to Las Vegas one time, and let's see, I have a comment from Eleanor Lavelle. Hi, Eleanor. Do you ever wonder what God has in store for you when he let you back? I do. I always think that. I always wonder, why am I still here? 7 people in 15 days died at that hospital. why did I get to live? I mean, I'm thankful and I'm glad I did. And, I love my family. Uh, but he's got a plan, I think, for all of us, and not sure what that plan is completely, but I do believe part of it was writing these 3 books, and there's more to come. So um, I'm just trying to listen to that voice and listen to that, my heart and soul, and do what he wants me to do. And Judith, hi Judith, you're still here. Must mean that there's things you still have to do. I really believe that. And I used to think, well, I've had raised my family, a lot of things that I've done over the years. So what could he want me to do? But you know what? You never know what it is. I do believe that, though, that there's still things that he wants me to do. And I'm uh, trying to do my best to listen to that small, still voice and listen to God, and whatever it is, just step out there in faith and do it. But yeah, that one time we were on a trip to Las Vegas, and the Grand Canyon. I'd never seen the Grand Canyon before, and we're in this plane high above the sky, and the plane. I saw the Grand Canyon, and I was sitting by the window, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool!" And how awesome is that? And all of a sudden, I saw the Grand Canyon again, and I thought, "Wait a minute, why are we circling the Grand Canyon? This plane is supposed to be going to Vegas, so what's going on here?" And all of a sudden, the pilot got on the intercom, and he said, well, our landing gear, we're having problems with the landing gear, and the wheels won't come down, so it won't land. So we're trying to dump fuel, so that if we do crash, that there won't be as much fuel in the plane. Well, that's a little scary. So then it got a little worse, because he said, hey, if anybody's, well, he didn't say hey, but he said, please take out any pins. Um, pens or pencils you might have in your pocket. Take your glasses off and assume the crash position. So if you could just put your arms down on the chair in front of you, and just assume that position. Well, you'd think that if a pilot tells you that, you would be freaking out and everybody would be screaming and crying and carrying on. But there wasn't a single sound. Nobody got upset. Nobody did anything. Everybody just listened to the pilot. And when we landed, we came just zooming into the landing place, and I mean, we were going. There was nothing to slow us down. What the mechanism that slowed us down wasn't there. So now I know how it feels to ride in an extremely fast race car. But so we go down to the landing, and we're going down through there, and we stopped just inches before the desert. I mean, we were almost in the desert. So that pilot was amazing, and so was God, because we didn't crash. And Timothy, hi Timothy, we can never know what God has in plan for us, only that we should do it. And it's wonderfully beautiful that it seems like you found your way. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I found my way, and just trying to do the best I can. You know what I mean? And like I say, at the end of the day, all we can do is try to help each other, be there for each other, and encourage each other. I think, a lot of people have done that for me, encouraged me, and been there for me. So yeah, you're so right. Absolutely right. So anyway, that we didn't crash that day. So we did stop before the desert, and we ended up getting a free round trip ticket. Um, so of course we went on another plane trip. So, but anyway, so I've had different times when I thought, well, this is it. I'm not going to survive this, and yet here I am, one more. But honestly, at this age, I really did think that the COVID was it. I thought it's I had to come home with oxygen. I had to monitor everything always. And then eventually, though, my plan and my goal was to get off that oxygen, and eventually I did. I was able to, and I had to use it while I went through rehab. Rehab was awesome. They had a great team there, a lot of good nurses, and a lot of rehab personnel that helped. And between the rehab and just keep moving. I was able to get off of the oxygen, and I do, like the other guy said, I do have shortness of breath sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to go upstairs, or walk for a long distance, but it seems like I'm 100% better than when I was back then 2 years ago. So anyway, it's been a journey, but the one thing I've learned out of all those different little episodes was I think that no matter what I face, no matter what I go through, I'm never alone. So, you know, you're doubly blessed if you've got family and friends that can be there for you and help you, which I did through this whole thing. And I thank my friends and family so much. They were just awesome. And if I can, I just feel like I've never been alone. And God especially is always there with me and encouraging me and helping me, and I'm so thankful for that. So anyway, I think my time's about up. I do apologize if I went over, but I just wanted to share those little things with you, and hope everybody's doing well and have a great please have a great rest of your week. And again, the name of my book is Wait, the Reality Is We Are Never Alone. And I also have one called Wait, What Just Happened? That's got some interesting things about angels in it. And then this one is called Wait, If You Can't Laugh at Yourself. So these are just some crazy things that's the third one, crazy things that have happened, you know what I mean? So it's been a life. It's been a wonderful life, and I'm just fortunate. It hasn't always been easy, and there have been problems and difficulties along the journey, but at the end of the day, I've never been alone. So Bob Montgomery, he said, yes, family, friends, community, and God, those are the most important things we could always look forward to. I agree. I agree, buddy. I really do. Thank you so much. And Timothy said, enjoy the rest of your week too. Oh, thanks. You too, Timothy. Hope you have a great rest of your week. And thank you all for listening and being here. This Festival of Storytellers has just been amazing. I love working with Reader's Magnet. Everybody I've dealt with has been so kind and helpful, and you're never alone when you're working with them either, because they're always in contact with you and they help you along the journey. I knew nothing about marketing or really writing a book or anything, and they've been just amazing. So I appreciate all the people I've worked with here at Reader's Magnet. And they always say we share your story with the world. So that's what I want to do, share my story. So thank you all for listening and for being here. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week. And I hope life treats you well. So thank you so much, and you all have a great day. Thank you.